I genuinely just stopped thinking about my issues. A lot of them were triggering in some ways. So I just put them in a box.
You don't have memories of childhood.
Yeah, a lot of my childhood. Most of it's very foggy. I'm very, very good at it.
You say that with some pride.
Yeah, because it allows me to focus on things that are maybe more beneficial to me, or at least I perceive them as more beneficial.
Hi guys, Adam Lane Smith, the attachment specialist here. And today I'm going to be talking to Raina about her attachment challenges and her relationships and seeing what we can do to build incredible experiences for her. Raina, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
I often tiptoe around with a lot of people and ask them a lot of questions about their emotions, a lot of questions about their feelings. I do know you outside the show a little bit. We've talked a little bit previously, so I know a little bit about you. But I really want to dive in here and say, Raina, what are you here today for me to fix? What am I doing for you? And you can ask me anything, any challenges you have, any problems you face. I will be here and I will find an answer. That is my job.
I think my biggest issue, which you might find fun, is that I genuinely just stopped thinking about my issues.
You just stop thinking about them.
Yeah. Like the conversations that we've had previously, a lot of them were triggering in some ways.
Okay.
So I just put them in a box over there and don't think about them anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's like, that's actually my biggest issue, is that my tendency towards not dealing with them.
Dissociating.
Yes.
Turning everything off. Mm-hmm. Okay. How long in your life have you dissociated?
I can't remember a time where I didn't.
Always? Forever?
Yes.
When you were 3 years old? Do you have memories of childhood?
No.
You don't have memories of childhood, so maybe those are in a box somewhere too?
Yes, probably.
Okay, fair enough. How far back can you actually remember? What's your earliest memories?
Maybe around 6 or 7.
Are they warm memories? Are they positive memories? Are they fearful memories?
No, I have a lot of good memories, mostly associated with my grandpa. Things that have carried through, like interests that started around that age. My love of Dune.
Nice.
Which was introduced to me by my grandfather, and my love of psychology frameworks.
Okay.
But yeah, a lot of my childhood. Most of it's very foggy.
It's foggy and blank for you. Okay. Dissociating and tuning things out. Has that gotten better or worse recently? You mentioned tuning out the things you and I have talked about very briefly. We've had just very short conversations. Is that getting better or worse lately?
Well, it depends on your depends on what you believe is better or worse. I'm very, very good at it.
I believe that.
But
you say that with some pride.
Yeah, because it allows me to focus on things that are maybe more beneficial to me, or at least I perceive them as more beneficial.
Okay. So I actually think that dissociation can be a good thing. It's a useful thing for us to have if we are in a moment where something terrible happens and we need to focus in rather than grieve at that moment. Dissociation is perfect for that. That's why we have the capability. Interestingly, through the work that I've done, I found that women are better at dissociating even than men are, even though we give men flack and say we're the bad ones for doing it. Women are better because you have to be, right? You have children?
Yes.
Okay. So you've had to be better at it so that you could take care of them.
Yes.
Do you have a husband?
No, I do not.
Okay. So you have to provide safety for yourself and your children, which means you don't have time for feelings.
Yes.
Right.
That's
so
true.
That's where the long-term dissociation becomes a problem. Short-term dissociation is okay. If you can put things in a box, put them on a shelf, don't put them away, don't lock them in a closet, don't bury them maybe in a shallow grave in the backyard, but put them aside to deal with at a later date and then actually properly deal with them. Mm-hmm. Tell me about actually properly dealing with them.
Well, the thing with actually properly dealing with them and why I would even bring it up is that I'm told constantly that it's healthy to work through problems. Mm-hmm. But I'm not sure how much I believe that.
What does working through problems look like to you?
Like dealing with them.
Dealing with them at all?
Yeah. And thinking about them when really you could put things to the side and focus on things that are just more productive. I'm very career focused,
Mhm.
and that sort of like leads everything. And I don't have time in my career. Like
Okay.
I'm an agency owner, I'm a business owner. I do an awful lot of things. I don't have time to sit there and cry about stuff.
I don't have time. Okay. One thing I have found is that when we dissociate that hard for that long, and it sounds like you've been dissociating for probably the majority of your life for most problems. If we look at emotional pain you've experienced during the course of your life, and we had to put a percentage on it, how much of your emotional pain that you've experienced during your life have you actually processed through and then let go of and learned the lesson from and moved through versus how much has been bottled up? How much is still bottled up?
I doubt I've actually technically processed any of it.
So 0%.
Probably.
Okay. So a lifelong bottling dissociation at 0% processing. So what I tend to see with that cycle is usually a woman by her mid to late 30s experiences some very extreme medical issues and autoimmune disorders, organ failure, organ breakdown, bone issues, sometimes brain issues, a lot of neurological challenges as her body begins to break down because your system's not meant to run that long. Actually, what's happening is you're following a pattern that our ancestors could have followed if your husband was eaten by a saber-toothed tiger and other tribes burned everything to the ground. You had no food. You had to take care of your kids. This is what you would do. This is what you would do. And you would trade any long-term life whatsoever just to get your kids to adulthood. Then you would die, and then they would continue on in a better way. So your system is probably going to try to die right now. It's going to burn out and just say, okay, my job is done. I can die now. Where is your medical health lately?
Not great.
Not great.
But it hasn't been great since I was in my 20s.
Mm-hmm.
So really like this. So I was diagnosed with MS when I was 27.
Mm-hmm. What does stress do for MS?
Amplifies it like a million times over.
Okay.
Yeah.
How's your MS been lately?
Bad. It comes in seasons.
Okay.
There's definitely like a cycle to it, at least for me.
Okay. So dissociating from things lately has increased and MS symptoms have increased. Is it possible there's a correlation?
Yes.
Okay. So when you tell me you don't have time to deal with those issues, what are you really telling me?
Well, it's the necessity for the things that are most important currently. It's like that. What
Survival.
you were just saying about the survival mechanism.
Are you in a survival situation?
All the time?
I don't know if you really are. Like, are you existentially about to be destroyed?
I think we all are.
You think we all are all the time.
Yeah, we're all on the brink of complete collapse all the time.
We are all on the brink of complete collapse all the time.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you grow up with any kind of a strong father figure or grandfather who provided any masculine protection?
My grandfather was close to me when I was young.
Okay. How long into your childhood was he not there?
He was there intermediately. It was my parents would take me and I would stay with him for a little bit, off and on again, until I left for college and then didn't see him for a bit. And by the time I came back from college, he had passed away.
He had passed away in your absence.
Yes.
So one thing I've encountered is that the female nervous system is incredible and adaptive and actually more robust than the male nervous system, to be honest with you. It is versatile and you can survive almost anything. We see that women are incredibly adaptive with their attachment styles. They can either knuckle under and survive even where a man will die, or they can rise to dominance and power even where a man wouldn't be able to thrive in a system. Mm-hmm. Your system's designed to survive at any cost.
Yes.
It's also designed, if you have children, unless you are a sociopath, and I'm not tracking that with you, to help them survive at any cost, even if it kills you. Right? We see that moms in pregnancy, if you can't get enough food, it actually pulls the nutrients from your bones, your teeth, your organs. In this case, you are pulling the nutrients from your bones, teeth, and organs, but it's emotional and mental. Mm-hmm. Your system is eating itself to then provide for your children right now, even as they're older, I'm assuming. Mm-hmm. What age are they?
My son is 18 and my daughter is 12.
18 and 12. Okay. We need to create a system where you are able to manage the feelings that you have without diving into them. So I actually think that you're correct, is diving into your emotions is worthless. Sitting and thinking about your feelings is pretty stupid and worthless as well. I will just say, and not that people that do it are stupid, but we spend 10, 15, 20 years crying in talk therapy and do nothing. Mm-hmm. So the last thing I want to do is reduce your productivity or reduce your survival. What we have to do is manage the painful experiences you've had. So do you know how your brain processes trauma and pain experiences? Do you know how that works?
No, I don't know how that works.
So generally speaking, we have an emotional right side of our brain and then a logical left side of our brain. And when a painful experience happens, our anterior cingulate cortex picks up pain experience, pain, social pain, emotional pain, and it spikes us emotionally. We have an emotional reaction to that, which elevates our right side brain, right? And it diminishes the logical left side functioning. So we're stuck having a deep level feeling about something that just happened to us. But our brain tries to ask two questions. One is, what contributed to this? What are all the variables that happened so that I know what to be afraid of? It's trying to inform your amygdala, right? The fear center of the brain. And number two, what do I need to do to make sure this never happens to me again? It's trying to inform the prefrontal cortex, which is going to come after the amygdala. Is that making sense so far?
Yes.
Okay. Now, here's the problem. Your logical left brain is diminished at the time when you're asking those two questions, which can only be answered by your logical left brain. So we get stuck because that experience was so emotional and so painful. We get stuck hyper-processing it on the right side brain, which leads to a shutdown. That's the distraction that you're afraid of. It leads to an overwhelmed shutdown, dorsal vagal shutdown, system crashes. So we say, I can't deal with that. I'm going to put this away to a time when I can sit and think about it. What your brain is thinking of is, I will get to a time where I'm not emotional anymore. And my emotional right side brain won't spike that way. Maybe it's going to take 10 years before I can think about that thing without feeling sad, whatever. I will deal with it someday when I'm safe and calm. That day is not going to come until we create that day for you. Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
Instead, it's going to accrue endlessly. What is going to happen is your amygdala is going to say every single variable that was present in all of those situations is all equally potentially dangerous. So your amygdala will now hallucinate fears where there aren't fears. It could lead to things like agoraphobia down the road. Have you ever dealt with agoraphobia?
The leaving of the house, afraid of that type of thing?
It means fear of the marketplace, actually. It's larger structures. It could be the house. It could be crowds of people. It could be social circumstances. But in essence, anything that is too stimulating outside of your safe zone.
I would say that I actually don't have very many fears, but I have weird ones.
Weird ones.
I'm afraid of floods, which really isn't that weird because I've experienced too many of them.
Okay.
And I'm afraid of checking the mail.
Checking the mail.
It's very weird.
Okay. I mean,
I get very nervous to check the mail.
Okay. I mean, we all grew up in the age of the Unabomber and remembering that, right? So there's elements there. Mm-hmm. There's bills that come due. There's bad news that can come due. There's a lot of things there. Somehow your amygdala learned that the mail is dangerous, right? News is dangerous, something. I would warrant that your amygdala probably has a lot more fear detectors and things that flag, but you've probably learned to dissociate from those two. And in fact, that's probably why you're operating at a high level of stress every day, is you're constantly detecting threats and then tuning out and pretending they're not. Does that make sense?
Yes, but how would somebody that has all of these issues and it's obviously causing like physical problems with me, I'm still highly functioning.
Yes.
Like across the board.
Absolutely.
Like I run multiple businesses.
Yes.
I have wonderful relationships with very close friends. I'm a good mom. I mean, I worry all the time that I'm not, but my kids are good. And they have a strong we have a deep connection between me and my kids. Yeah. I'm able to do all of these different things. So isn't that an exchange that's kind of worth it?
What if you could do all of those things without the fear and pain? Because if those behaviors are who you are, what if we could do those better? Do you think people operate better when they're in chronic pain and fear, or do they operate better when they're calm and steady?
They probably operate better when they're calm and steady. Okay. But I have not experienced that in a decade.
A decade? At
least.
What happened in the last decade?
So I have chronic pain from MS.
So prior to that, is what you're saying?
Yeah. So I have what I call because I have relapsing remitting, which is an easier form, I suppose, of it. So I do have days where I almost feel normal, but they're rare.
Are they days where you're less stressed? Or are they tied at all to a stress cycle? Even on a delay of a day or two later?
They're very cyclical. I tend to get sicker around the holidays. But I don't know if it's weather or if it's because of stress associated with holidays or the fact that I work in marketing, like all of those things. I always get worse around this time period.
Got it.
Around my birthday, I tend to be okay.
Okay.
So maybe there's something associated with that.
I hear you. So you close off from that. How do you show up in relationships? Do you like to be visible in relationships?
What type of relationships?
Let's go friendships first. In your friendships, do you like to be actively visible and seen and recognized, understood, accepted?
I more take like the caregiver mother.
A caregiver mothering role in friendships.
Yes. Like the person that people depends on. The one that you'd call and they'd pick you up in the middle of the night.
Okay.
The one that you would call and if you're in a crisis situation.
Why is it safer to be a mother?
I think there's a part of me that is naturally inclined towards relationships where there's like an exchange, and the exchange is much heavier on my side.
So you like relationships where you give more than receive?
I wouldn't say it's about liking. It's just what I seem naturally inclined to.
So you prefer relationships that are built that way?
Yes.
What makes that safer for you?
I have difficulty relying on people.
Okay.
And like requesting things from people. So it's much easier for me if I'm the one that is the one that they can rely on.
So you can't ask people for things?
Yes, that's been an ongoing issue with me.
Okay. I'd like to figure out your attachment style and really nail this down. And we've talked about it just very briefly before the show, but let's dig a little bit here. Anxious attachment style. I know you're familiar with the styles. For everybody out there who's watching, anxious attachment style often is characterized by the belief that you don't deserve to be loved, that there's something innately wrong with us, that we have to please other people and make them happy. Now, there's variations of this. Is there any element of you said you worry that you're not a good enough mom, or have you struggled in the past with self-esteem challenges?
I'm a woman, so of course there's self-esteem issues in the culture that we live in. And I think worrying about whether or not you're a good mom is a good thing, because you should never get too comfortable in that role. It's constantly changing and growing and evolving. And so, yes, I always worry that I'm not giving enough.
Okay.
Because I brought them here. They are my responsibility.
Okay. Here's one thing that concerns me so far is I dissociate, and that's a good thing because it makes me good at work. I am insecure and nervous, and it's a good thing because it makes me a good mom. Pain and fear make me a good person. That's one thing I'm tracking.
Yeah.
I'm also tracking I might not be a good person if I wasn't in pain and afraid.
I don't think that the question of being a good person is, I know that I'm a good person.
Okay. Morally, ethically?
Yes.
Okay. Acceptable person then?
Yes.
What would you not be if you weren't in pain and afraid appropriately? If you weren't in an appropriate level of pain and fear, what would happen?
I don't know. I haven't thought about that. Maybe that's my disassociation.
You haven't thought about what would happen if you weren't in pain. So far you've told me that pain and fear make you do the right things.
I think I've utilized the things that have happened to me to the best of my ability.
Okay. Gotcha. And none of this is meant to judge, by the way, at all. What I want to do is find you a third option, because most people that come to me are trapped between either I can be this or I can be this. And both choices are bad, essentially. Both choices are painful. I can either be in despair this way or in despair like this. But at least this way, I can live with myself. And that way, I can't live with myself. I will die faster and in more pain this way, but that way I'll be in emotional pain. And that's usually, which do you prefer, right? That's usually the cycle that people have. And the option here is, how do we build you a third option that incorporates all of the elements of productivity, awareness, care, all of those pieces, so that you can be the person you want to be, but in a better, more productive way, where your work is better, where your relationships are better, where you're not in pain, where you're not going to die at 50, right? I'd like you to be around till you're like, 85, 90, somewhere in there, right? Like, how can we keep you alive for multiple additional decades and not have you on life support or have to give you a robot body in the meantime?
I kind of want a robot body.
You kind of want a robot body. Okay.
But yes, let's try to keep me alive.
I will put that aside for a moment right there. Your children. You have a daughter who's 12.
Yes.
Let's pretend that someday, 8 years from now, she comes to you and says, Mom, I have these things in my head that I've been dissociating from for all of my life, and I think it's good, and I'm just going to knuckle down and keep pushing them away so that I don't feel them anymore. Are you going to give her a big thumbs up and say that is the best way to do it? Let's both be productive. High five. Let's get back to work.
No, I wouldn't want the same life for her that I have had.
That's good. How are you going to show her a different life? How are you going to teach her a different way of being?
I think first I need to learn what a different life is.
Okay. Is that something you're open to? Because it's going to be terrifying.
Yeah, I'm up for a challenge.
Is it terrifying?
It is.
Because we need to dig out those little shallow graves of all those boxes.
And I think the thing I'm afraid of is that so much of the things that I am really proud of have to do with overcoming things that maybe I didn't need to overcome.
Why are you afraid of that?
I'm proud of my career, and I'm proud of my ability to take care of things and rely on myself.
Okay.
But I know, just based on speaking with you, but also a lot of self-help type stuff, that it's a necessity for people to be able to rely on other people, and that we're tribal creatures. And I have a lot of trouble connecting with people in a way that's equal.
Okay.
And I don't want to teach my children those things.
Are you afraid that if you were to receive love from other people, are you afraid that you would be a burden to them and eat up resources that they should be using for themselves? Are you afraid that they would use it as a means to betray you? Are you afraid that you would become dependent on it? What is it for you? What is the most fearful part of receiving love from somebody?
I always think it's a trick.
It's a trick.
So it's probably associated with the betrayal.
Or the betrayal piece. Okay. Your son is 18.
Yes.
He loves you. Okay. Are you able to receive that love from him?
With him, yes.
Okay.
And I think that has to do with that putting things in boxes or categories.
Yeah.
Is that I do feel like I can have connections with my children, but it's not the same as a relationship with like a partner.
Let's talk about a partner for a moment. I want to come back to this idea, but let's talk about a partner for a second. In your romantic relationships, how is this showing up? I can't receive love. I'm afraid people will betray me. I dissociate from my emotions and experiences. I have to be productive. How does that show up in your relationships?
I haven't had very many relationships.
Okay. You have 2 kids.
Yes.
I would assume you've had at least one relationship, unless something weird happened there.
No, I've had 3 relationships in my life.
3 relationships. Can you tell me about, is there a common theme running through them? The kind of partner you pick or the way that you operate when someone says they love you?
So I'm like a long-term chronic monogamist.
Yeah. Serial monogamous.
Yeah, like long term. My first relationship was like first love type thing.
Okay.
And we were together for about 6 years and got married. I was married for a year.
1 year.
1 year.
How long were you dating?
6 years before that.
6 years.
Yeah, we were very young. I met him right at the time I turned 18.
Okay.
And
So you dated till you were 24, got married, married till 25 and divorced.
pretty close to around that, yeah.
Okay.
And I loved him very much. And honestly, like that relationship, I wasn't afraid of loving him, and I wasn't afraid of being loved by him.
Okay.
But it was definitely like puppy love, very youthful.
Sure.
And we were both very immature.
Okay. Who ended it?
I did.
You did. Why?
He had a drug problem.
He had a drug problem.
And we had a child together. And he went down a path that I didn't think was safe for our child.
How long in the 7 years that you were together total did he have that drug problem?
He experimented with drugs, but I wouldn't say it was a problem up until maybe the last 2 years. And that's when he became an addict, really.
Okay. So you married him after he became an addict.
Mm-hmm.
What made you marry him after he became an addict?
I loved him, and I thought he would go back to being himself again.
So you thought you could rescue him by marrying him?
No, it's I got pregnant.
Ah.
And so we got married, and honestly, I knew whenever we got married that it probably wasn't going to last.
Okay.
But there was a part of me that was hopeful that he would overcome it. I really see addiction as like the same as like cancer or something along those lines. He had a tendency towards addiction, and it took over his life. And honestly, I don't have any hatred towards him
Sure.
for it at all.
So you see addiction more as a medical issue?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that he just had the chemistry to have it.
Just had the chemistry.
Yeah, have it destroy him. And I wasn't going to allow our son to be brought up in that environment.
How much, when other people do something, do you attribute agency to them versus how much do you say, well, that's just where they are? That's just a domino effect of their decisions, of their parenting or their upbringing. And I'm not asking how much you blame people, although maybe that's a part of it. How much do you ascribe agency to other people to make decisions?
That's actually something that I've realized recently that I've been working on, is that oftentimes if I understand the reason behind why someone does something, I can not place any blame on them because I have an understanding of why it happens.
So
but
you absolve them of responsibility.
Yes.
Which actually removes their agency.
Yes, but within the last year, I've kind of came to that conclusion that just because I understand the motives or the things that push people to do things doesn't like release them of like being kind of in trouble for what they do.
Correct. You said you like to mother people.
Yes.
And you like to care for them. And you like to also absolve them of wrongdoing when you can see them.
Yeah.
Your brain infantilizes other people as infants that you have to care for.
Yeah, but there does come a point with even that notion of, because I understand why people do things, that I forgive them for it or I allow it just to continue to happen because I have an understanding of it. Mm-hmm. Now it's come to the conclusion that I just kind of step away.
Can I challenge something there?
Yes.
Yeah. So forgiveness, to actually forgive a human being, you have to acknowledge that they have agency and that they made a bad choice that they could otherwise have done. And then from that, you choose to benevolently say, I forgive you for having made a bad choice. Your system doesn't really forgive people. Your system actually absolves them of any wrongdoing in the first place and strips them of agency. So what you're doing is you're moving through a world of objects that you're trying to dodge around. That's what your brain's going to do. This is not, by the way, a sociopathic tendency. Sociopaths are completely different from you. You actually have full compassion. You see these as humans, and you're careful not to hurt them. Mm-hmm. But your brain actually is interacting with them as objects, specifically because your brain says, I can't work with them. There's not a collaboration between you and an object. You and I, you can't collaborate with that cup, right? You choose where to go. If you bang the table and the cup falls and splashes on you, you don't get mad at the cup, you get mad at yourself. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Your brain relates to other human beings as objects, but with empathy and compassion.
That makes sense.
That's the challenge.
There's always been a disconnect with people.
Yeah, that's the challenge that you're experiencing. I see that most often with the quiet, disorganized attachment style, right? To diminish yourself so that other people can feel better, but at the same time relate to them as objects. Right. So one thing I think you're probably packing away is probably any anger that you actually feel at those objects for the choices they've made. Is that fair?
Yeah. I have noticed recently it's really difficult for me to even feel anger at all.
So what you're doing is not forgiving people. You're saying it's not your fault because you're an infant. You didn't know better. Let me just navigate around you. I'll stuff down my feelings and not feel anything at all. And that way I won't hurt you or hurt me. And I'll just survive by not feeling. That's what your system is doing.
It does seem like a very logical thing. If I understand why somebody does something, then I can make it so they can't do that again to me.
I can make it so they don't do that again to me.
Yes.
Which is exactly managing an object. That's what we call manipulation. Manipulation is not inherently an evil thing, by the way. That's not. Sometimes we have to move an object. Sometimes we do. We have to protect ourselves, right? We can't always collaborate with the guy who wants to mug us in an alley or something like that, right? We have to work together. No, that doesn't work with that guy. Your system thinks, though, and here's the problem, is that you live in a system where people won't collaborate in good faith with you. Like you said, if I accept their love, that's an opening to betray me.
Yes.
These objects are objects because they are sociopaths. Your brain says everyone else is a potential sociopath. They're 1 second away from becoming a sociopath. Do you like zombie movies or vampire movies or anything like that? Any horror movies?
I like vampire books.
Okay.
I don't really like horror.
Okay. You know those moments in the horror movies and in vampire books maybe where the characters are running for their life and they think that there's other humans they're working with, and then suddenly the other humans turn and become a monster too, and all of a sudden they have to run from the person that just 3 seconds ago was their best friend.
Mm-hmm.
That's essentially what your brain thinks is happening. Your brain is living in a zombie apocalypse or a vampire apocalypse at this point.
Well, honestly, it keeps happening.
It keeps happening. Part of the reason for that, though, is because you are so distant and isolated from other people that you don't have a protective network to filter people through appropriately. And so you're going to be a perfect target for narcissistic people, for predators, for sociopaths, or for people who are just so dysregulated that they're looking for someone to absolve them of problems. You're going to be looking for people who want to be mothered or people who want to take advantage of a mother. Those are the two people you're going to attract most. Does that track with the people that have betrayed you?
Yes.
So that's the system you've built right now. Okay. We have to fix that.
That would be nice.
Good. Okay. So quiet disorganized is what it's sounding like to me. You have some avoidant tendencies, but you're not actually maybe even physically or socially avoiding people. I don't know, maybe you are. But it's more that you're emotionally withdrawn from other people into a closed off fortress in your head that no one can reach. Mm-hmm. Now, you said that your son can.
Yes. I actually have an ongoing joke about him. The only man that I'll trust is the man that I made.
Interesting. Okay. How much, as he's now 18, how much do you trust him? Do you find that that's waning at all?
No, I trust him so much. He's an amazing young man.
Okay.
He's kind and compassionate and caring. He's very organized. He's very driven. I am blown away by him on a daily basis.
Okay. I happen to know that you also have a best friend who's a man.
Yes, I do.
I'm very curious where he falls on that spectrum of people that you would trust or not trust.
I don't trust him too.
Now, you just said that you don't. You just said that your son is the only man you'll ever trust because you made him.
That's a joke.
Is it now?
Yes.
Is it?
I have friends, and that goes into the whole dynamic of I'm able to have connections with my children,
okay,
and I'm able to have connections with my friends. It's within the romantic aspect that it gets very murky for me.
Okay.
And also, like, I have quite a few friends that I really do trust.
Okay, this is good.
Yeah, and but the thing is, even with my friends, there's always an aspect to it where I trust a little, like sticking your toes in the water.
Yeah.
And with my best friend, he has not betrayed me yet.
He has not betrayed me yet.
Yes.
Right. And I understand the distinction. Your brain is going to go there.
Yes.
That's actually one of the highest compliments you can pay someone is, I mostly trust them. They haven't betrayed me yet.
More than I even feel like comfortable. Honestly.
Yes. Like,
Sometimes it makes me uncomfortable.
I trust you to an uncomfortable, terrifying degree. Is actually one of the highest compliments you can give somebody when you have quiet, disorganized attachment.
Yes.
It's one of the best things. I hear that loud and clear.
And I've been working over the past year on having those types of relationships where I can trust people. And I've put myself out there, and I've actually asked for help more within the last year than ever in my life.
Okay.
And it's been, for the majority of people that I asked for help, they weren't there for me. So it's reinforcing this thing that I was really trying to overcome.
Okay.
And so it's been difficult, but there's been a few people here and there that have been like, absolutely, I'm here for you. Anything that you need.
So let me do my due diligence, because asking for help is a skill set and you haven't done it for most of your life. Yeah. When you've asked people for help in the last year, have they known, number one, the severity of what you were dealing with? And number two, have they known the importance of the need that you had? And number three, did they know specifically what you were asking for?
I would say different levels. I'm a very, I wouldn't say secretive person, but I'm not a very open person.
Okay. The reason I'm asking is if I'm $100,000 in debt to the mafia, and they're coming tonight to take all of my organs from me, right? And I say, I really need help. And I come to you, Raina, and I say, hey, Raina, can I borrow $5? And you go, well, Adam, I'm sorry, I don't have $5 to give you. I go, oh man, okay. And I turn away and I say, damn, Raina doesn't love me. In my time of need, she gave me nothing. And you have no context whatsoever, right? That is very different from me coming to you and saying, Raina, I'm in so deep trouble. I am so afraid for my life. If you could spare even $5, it would make a life-ending difference to me. Is there any way you could help me? The context, right? The context and the framework and the measurability. I don't know. Maybe you did go to your family and friends and ask them in that way, but your brain is going to mark it as a betrayal no matter what. If they say no in some way or fail you, did you do your due diligence explaining context to them?
Probably not, because I'm not the type to put myself in a position where I would be comfortable with being even perceived as needing something. So, but with a few people who I do kind of allow into that inner circle to see like what I am experiencing, there were people within that inner circle that saw what I was going through. And so I didn't think I needed to lay it out exactly. This is what I'm going through. They were already aware of it.
How do you know they were aware of it to the extent that you were?
Because we had conversations outside of when I requested things.
Okay.
And so that is, I maybe it is an assumption on my part, but I also do not think that these people are dumb.
And they might be, and they might not be. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's why I'm doing my due diligence and asking, because I don't know what you might have shared and what you didn't, or what they perceived and what they didn't. So
I have a circle of maybe 4 people
Okay.
that I would say are very close with me and that I'm very open with.
Okay.
Everybody outside of that circle, I'm not very open with.
Understood.
And within that circle of 4 people, 2 of them were there for me and 2 of them were not.
Okay.
And they were all very aware.
Very aware. Okay.
Yeah.
So long as we know that they were aware, because that's the tracking mechanism here. If you keep things locked inside where they can't tell, then the problem's on you. If you let them know and ask, then the problem's on them.
Yes.
That's the dividing line. Yeah. I'm drawing this so painstakingly for you because your brain absolves people of any wrongdoing whatsoever. We have to build a line where you can build agency for other people and begin holding them accountable for the smaller things they do, besides just, I betrayed you in your hour of greatest need. If that's the only thing that provokes an emotional response in you so big that you can't bury that in a shallow grave, we've got to give you a different metric.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
We also have to give you the ability to go to people and have a gentle confrontation with them. Do you know how to have a confrontation with someone when they have failed you or hurt you?
No. Well, no. I have been really trying over the last year to fix some of my issues and honestly communicate a little bit more effectively, because I know that I am, whenever it comes to my needs, I'm very, very bad at communicating,
Okay.
which is interesting because within my career, I'm an excellent communicator.
Okay.
But whenever it's a little bit more personal, it becomes more difficult. No, I did go back to that person who I do feel like betrayed me and honestly set me back quite a few years as far as like my ability to reach out, rely on people, trust people, that sort of thing.
Okay.
And I told them that I was disappointed because I was expecting to be able to rely on them.
Okay.
And there's even a part of the situation where I expected that ability to rely on them because they had relied on me so often. And there's a part of me that feels bad about that. Like there was an exchange there and there shouldn't have been, and I shouldn't have had this expectation of them because of things that they never agreed to. Me always giving them things. They never agreed to that.
Okay.
Therefore, they don't owe me anything. And part of the reason why the situation frustrated me is because I think that they did owe me.
Right.
But that part was never communicated. And then whenever I did talk to them about how I was disappointed in this, they went on to say that none of it was their fault. And it's just the way that it is.
Okay.
And we haven't spoken since.
Okay. This is someone important to you.
Yes.
Okay. Did you present them with an option of what you wanted to see different in the future? Or did you say, I was so disappointed, and then look at them? And by the way, I want to say, I'm not putting this all on you and saying, Raina, you've been bad in your relationships. It's all your fault. They might be awful. I have no idea. What I want to do is build you a system where your brain understands it's okay for you to share these frustrations, right? If you don't know how to share frustrations, it's 5 times harder for you to share them.
Yeah. I almost never share my frustrations with anybody. I just pretend like everything's fine.
Do you know how? Do you have a framework for how?
No.
I have a framework for everything. So let me just show you. Does that work?
Yes, that works.
There's something that we call the resolve and repair model. So when you have a concern with somebody else, we have to, number 1, resolve the feeling, but also repair the relationship, which actually is forward facing. So usually what we need to do when we have an issue, we go and say, We invite them into a conversation first. Hey, I really want us to have a great relationship going forward, right? Statement of goal right up front. This is not a conversation where I tell you to go F yourself and we never speak again. You're not dead to me. I really want us to have a great relationship going forward. Statement of challenge. Right now, I'm not sure how to do that. And I need to build a way to do that with you because right now I'm actually very hurt. So I need your help right now to figure out how we're going to go forward. That's perfectly okay. I'm going to share with you where I'm at, and then I want to hear where you're from, where you're coming from. And we need to figure out a way to resolve this. Making sense so far?
It's making sense, but I also have another tendency where if it gets to the point where I actually feel like too emotional about it, I just won't talk to them again.
So if you bottle and bottle and bottle and bottle, eventually it poisons you?
Yeah, and then I cut people out of my life.
Yeah.
Like,
Is that fair to them if they don't know, if they genuinely don't know what you're feeling? Would you want someone to do that to you?
I don't know that I would notice.
There's a problem.
Yeah.
So we need to build a system that is safe for you above all things. I don't want to breach your safety. I don't want to create a system where you are open and vulnerable to some mean narcissistic person who's going to attack you. That's not what I want at all. I actually want you to be protected. So I think that what you're doing, number one, is smart and has been all of your life. We need to give you another option for the people who aren't awful. Make sense?
Yes.
We also need to make sure we're not accidentally miscategorizing some people in your life as being awful, even though your nervous system thinks they are, which is strange because you have a tendency to infantilize and excuse right up until the point you can't, then you explode and rupture.
Yeah, it does. It does. There's a tipping point in most of my relationships where it's oh, it can't be them. It must be me. Oh, how can I change this? How can I fix this?
Right.
All the way up to the point where I'm like, I genuinely will like block them and not think about them again.
Yeah. You dissociate from them too.
Yes.
They go in a shallow grave too.
Yes.
Yeah, that's your system right now. You're in an extreme survival case. Your brain says, I'm going to die every moment of every single day, and so will my children, so I can't think about my feelings for this person. They're dead to me now. Just gone. Mm-hmm. Except they're not really gone. That's in your brain. Mm-hmm. Your brain is still carrying that pain, and it's swirling on the emotional side of your brain. And you've tuned it out so hard, it's in your body. Mm. And we call it a cyclical disease.
Yes.
Right. Which is there. I'm not saying it's not. At the bare minimum, it's making that unbearably painful for you. So if we can get rid of these things, imagine, I've seen reductions, even 70% of symptom reduction for people. Imagine if you had 30% of the pain that you experience on average, just 30% left, 70% gone, and that was the rest of your life. How much productivity would you have?
A lot.
Right. So when you say, hey, you know what, I don't have time to resolve these feelings, well, it would change everything for you if you resolve these feelings. Mm-hmm. The problem is we have to actually resolve them, not think about them, not cry about them, not have problems. Do you cry?
On a schedule.
You cry on a schedule. Tell me your crying schedule, Raina.
Everything is scheduled for me. I'm very logical.
Awesome. Tell me your crying schedule, Raina. What's it like?
Well, today is Friday. Every Friday I cry. Every
Friday you cry. You want to look into the camera and cry right now? What time is it usually? What time is your crying time?
It's normally around 3 o'clock.
Around 3 o'clock? We're a little bit past that.
Yes.
I've delayed your crying time.
It's okay. I made up for it yesterday.
Okay. You made up for it yesterday. Unscheduled.
Well, sometimes you have to move things around to be flexible with the schedule.
So you adjusted your crying time schedule.
Yes.
What prompted you to adjust your crying time schedule yesterday to one day earlier?
Because I knew I would be on here with you.
You knew you would be here with me, so you cried in advance to get it out.
Yes.
Fascinating. Do you keep a list of things that you need to cry about in the week?
Not written down in my mind.
Because if it was written down, someone might find it and use it against you.
I never thought about that, but now I'm kind of scared. I'm glad I don't write it down.
See, you've even dissociated from the fear of that. Okay.
Yeah.
No, this makes sense. All right. So you schedule your crying. Do you often cry outside of that schedule? Do you ever find yourself breaking down?
Well, this year has been incredibly difficult for me. Okay. A lot of transitions have happened. And so sticking to that schedule has actually been a challenge.
What shifted this year? What was so dramatic?
So a few things. I turned 40.
Turned 40.
Which
I also turned 4 this year, so I can understand.
Yeah, it's a transition.
It's a big thing.
Into an older age and everything that comes with it.
Right. As my son told me, wow, Dad, you're almost dead.
Right.
Right. Like, yeah.
And I ended a 14-year relationship.
14 years?
Yes.
Okay. What ended it?
Me.
You?
I finally
just
left.
What, and not to badmouth anybody, but generally speaking, what was the dynamic in that relationship? Because the earlier one was he was addicted. I got pregnant. I kept trying to take care of him and hoped it would change. What was this one?
This one,
Big sigh. There's an emotion right there.
There are emotions with
There's an emotional experience right there. That's okay.
Yeah.
What ended this one?
I gave up, but the relationship actually ended like 10 years ago. There wasn't any connection of any sort.
So wait a minute. You had 4 years together.
Mm-hmm.
The relationship was emotionally dead to you. And you kept it going for 10 additional years.
Yes.
Why?
We had children.
Because you had children.
My second child.
Your second child, your daughter that you mentioned.
And he didn't do anything technically wrong. He just wasn't there for me. Like
So-
he did not hit me. I don't know. There just wasn't anything there.
He didn't do anything technically wrong, and you list domestic violence as the one and only criteria.
Yeah.
This is quite disorganized, by the way. This is very quite disorganized. Okay.
He wasn't nice.
He wasn't nice.
He was very mean. He was very controlling in many ways, but I feel like I just sort of shut down and was just trying to exist because I didn't want to be a single mom again, even though I was within a relationship.
He didn't do anything wrong,
Yeah.
except that he wasn't nice and he was mean and controlling. Would you consider being mean and controlling something wrong, or is that neutral? Is that something you're excusing in other people?
It's really hard for me to blame people.
Yeah, I know. We've established that.
It's not his fault.
It's not
It's just
his fault.
who he is.
It's just who he is. What makes you different?
What makes me different?
Why are you not mean and controlling? Why are you in control of your actions? Why do you hold yourself accountable to other people? Are you better than other people?
No.
Are you smarter than other people?
Maybe, but
Okay.
no, not really.
Are you the only real person? Is everyone else fake?
No. I'm sure that there are lots of, I honestly find people, I love people. I think that they're fascinating.
Yeah, objects can be very beautiful.
There's nothing that, it's my special interest. Is
yes,
people.
Yes.
It-
But what makes you capable of being the only person on the planet who can withstand accountability? Why are you the only human being on planet Earth who can be assigned any level of accountability whatsoever without being excused? Why you?
It's not that I am the only one capable of accountability. It's that I don't think I should expect accountability from anybody else. No one owes me anything. So instead of expecting accountability from people or trying to figure out what's wrong with them or blaming them for things, it's better to just be people are people.
Mm-hmm. What if we brought your best friend into the studio here today, and he was sitting here listening to this conversation, and he was listening to you describe what is, in essence, removing agency from him, that he has no free will and he has no agency, and that whatever he's doing is simply what he's going to do, and that if he was to betray you someday, you would maybe be sad that it happened, but you would ascribe him no agency and say that's just who he is. What do you think he might feel if he heard you describing him as an object?
I don't know. Maybe some relief.
Relief? You think he'd be relieved?
Because then it doesn't matter if you make a mistake.
You think he would be relieved to be excused from hurting you?
I don't know.
What would you feel if someone told you they felt that way about you? Would you feel relief?
No, I wouldn't.
What would you feel? Because I personally, if someone told me that, I would feel horror.
I think if somebody told me that, then because I'm super competitive,
Mm-hmm.
I would probably try to find every which way to make them not feel that way.
Sure. I would feel horror for them.
Oh.
I would feel horror for them that they couldn't believe that I would love them. Because what you're really doing is you're actually creating a system where people are incapable of loving you. You're creating a system that says you have no free will whatsoever, so you can't choose to love me. It's not that no one will ever hurt you. It's not that no one will ever do something wrong, but someone can do something wrong and then love you so much that they choose to go through the pain of correcting it. And they choose through love to care enough to become a better person. And that's actually why they need you to confront them lovingly, gently, and build a system where they can change out of love for you. That's actually a test if they love you or not. Will they face what they have done wrong to improve and grow for you. That's actually a test of their character. What you're doing is removing any ability to test their character at all. So you've actually told your friend, I don't believe you're capable of loving me. I don't believe that you're a creature capable of love. I think you're an object that's incapable of love, and you're simply going to bumble around hurting people, including me. That's what you would be telling your friend. That's why I would feel horror for, if you told me that, I would feel horror for you, that you don't think I'm capable of loving you. That would be so lonely. When you remove their agency to make bad decisions or be bad, you also remove their agency to be good.
Is this exclusively an attachment issue, or is this something else?
We call it an attachment issue, and we'll get to something else in a moment, but we call it an attachment issue simply because your brain doesn't know how to relate to other human beings. Your brain learned that other people are going to hurt you because they don't care. Now, other brain types actually can also shift into this hyperlogical focus. One thing I'm tracking is you have a very hyperlogical left brain focus, more so than a right brain focus, the hyper-emotional focus. Your ability to dissociate that hard and actually track things and understand systems is very different. Neurologically, do you have any differences from the average person? Do you know?
I'm autistic.
Autistic features?
I'm very high functioning. Women express autism differently.
Very differently.
Yes.
Tremendously.
So I'm very high functioning, but I am on the spectrum for sure.
Okay.
Realized that pretty early on.
Okay.
And so I've had a lot of issues connecting with people.
Mm-hmm.
For most of my life, I thought I was asexual.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't experience attraction,
Mm-hmm.
except for twice maybe in my life.
Yeah.
I categorize people.
Mm-hmm.
I built my life and my career around trying to understand identity. I mean, I'm a brand strategist.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there's been an inability to connect with people the way people connect throughout my whole life, and I don't know if I've ever actually been able to do it.
Right.
But I've made systems and frameworks to help me better understand people, because people are my special interest. Identity, like what makes people people. I've built my entire life and my entire career around trying to understand the human psyche, because I have an inability to truly connect with another person, but I find people fascinating and I love them.
Okay.
And yeah, so a lot of the things that I do within branding has to do with personality profiling and the creation of a psyche. And I built incredible frameworks that are incredibly complicated, and they're on par with as complicated and nuanced as a person is to create that, to pull that into the business realm. But really, all of it really goes back to this idea of I do not understand people.
Right.
And all I want to do is understand people.
That's a dual thing. Quiet disorganized doesn't understand people from a fear survival perspective, and then autistic features don't understand people from a social perspective.
Yeah, I just don't understand.
That's a double whammy. Now you've turned it into a strength because you've actually built systems to understand people, and you help other people understand people.
I help other people understand people. I help other people understand themselves.
Right.
But there's always been a barrier. I cannot really connect with anybody. And I don't know if that comes from my attachment or if that comes from autism. But it's lonely.
If it was purely from the autistic features, you wouldn't have the lonely feeling.
That's good.
People with autism can still be lonely. The more severe autistic features, they don't experience that loneliness to that extent as much. Or if they do, it's very little. They don't feel it. It's there, but they're not aware of it.
It's becoming worse as I get older.
Yep.
When I was younger, it never bothered me.
Right.
I always had people associations, even friends.
Yep.
I have friends now. I do feel like I have a connection with my children that's very different than anything else.
That's good. Most women with autism will have a connection with their own kids.
Yeah, and my relationship with them is very, very different. And I'm able to have what I believe are real relationships with people, but there is always a part of me that is terrified that maybe I'm faking it and I'm not even aware of it. The connection to people.
Okay.
I would like to not be lonely.
Okay. We should be able to fix that. Most people with autism are lonely. If it was purely from the autistic features, then you wouldn't be lonely. It is largely from your attachment issues, actually. Now, unfortunately, a lot of people with autistic features grow up being misunderstood, and then it gives them attachment issues if they already weren't in a system that also gave them attachment issues. Being fundamentally misunderstood, fundamentally feeling rejected, disconnected, not knowing what to do, having people hurt or mistreat you for autistic features or for different behavior, different brain type, people yelling at you for not getting it, kind of thing like that. That can.
I feel like I've experienced all of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And your family system also doesn't sound like it was terribly structured very well either, right? Yeah, so you had, again, double combination there. Yeah. So that's what has pushed you into the extreme, overwhelming survival state that you've been in most of your life.
Yes, but still, I've done well in my career. And I'm
Absolutely.
very proud of it. And there's a part of me that worries, if I fix all of this stuff, then will I lose my magic?
No. Actually, your magic will get stronger. I've never had a client that by going through this process and making these changes that all of a sudden they couldn't do what they wanted to, and they lost their skills. Those skills will always be there for you. What's going to happen is you built those skills out of absolute necessity. And right now you're driving and motivating yourself through fear and pain. As you calm your nervous system, there will be a small dip in motivation for a period of time, right? You won't become complacent, but you'll go through a period where you relax and be a little less productive. And then what you'll find after that is that your brain is sharper, you're more focused, you make fewer mistakes, you can work faster, and new insights will begin happening for you. You're not really in a productive place to have the rapid fire insights that you're capable of. I'm sure you have many insights, but nowhere near the level of insight that you could be having. You're not there yet. So this would be a whole new layer of insights coming to you in a flood that you would be overwhelmingly inspired because it's from a place of pure joy. And you experience joy in it more than you probably do now. Do you experience much joy in your life?
No.
Yeah. Prefrontal cortex is overdeveloped to squash the joy and the pain at the same time. As you're dissociating from all of those painful experiences, you're actually also tuning out your nervous system so you can't feel the good things. There's actually probably a lot of joy and happiness that you could be feeling that you're not accessing right now. So by fixing those dissociation pieces, you should also be opening all that joy and all that connection. It's going to be that process too. Sound good? Mm-hmm. Is that enough reason to undo what you said at the very beginning of, I don't have time to do this, and if I do, I'm afraid I'll lose something? Because like I said, this will be a fearful process. It shouldn't necessarily be a painful one, but a fearful one.
I would like to be more functioning than I am. But yeah, there is a part of me that this just sounds like very scary. And like I would be risking everything that I have built myself to become. And I built all of those things for a reason.
Correct.
So yeah, absolutely terrifying.
So the only thing you will risk is the people that you choose, if we don't teach you proper compatibility filtering, the people you choose could let you down and you could be disappointed. That actually is the only risk here.
Would that send me right back to square one though? Because I feel like I tried that this year.
I know.
I was sort of proven right not to trust people.
Right. So the concept of going back to square one is I got hurt. I don't know the variables that happen to it or how to make sure I don't get hurt again, back to the trauma cycle. Yeah. So I'm going to just pull back and everything associated with it was scary. So trying is the bad thing. It's compatibility, right? Mm-hmm. You're a brand strategist.
Yes.
If you get something wrong the first time, do you give up completely and trash the brand?
Oh, no.
What do you do?
You look for new angles. And sometimes you do have to go back to the drawing board.
Okay.
And recreate. But it's also a learning experience so that you don't have to continuously go back to the drawing board. I get it. Thank you.
There we go.
Yes.
There we go.
Yeah.
We need to find you, the human beings, and with Kohlberg's morality scale, you're probably looking at 10%, right? Mm-hmm. So we're going to play with 10% first. Do you know Kohlberg's morality scale?
Vaguely.
I'm going to explain right now. For everybody at home, you're like, what did he just say? Like, okay. Kohlberg's morality scale proposes that there's 6 levels of moral development that, number 1, a child is supposed to go through. And number 2, that an adult is supposed to reach. Okay. So at level 1, level 6, actually down at the bottom, sociopath. Okay. This is the lowest level. You are a sociopath. You will do anything you can get away with. And even then, like consequences, like I will do what feels good to me. Right. Now this progressively, that's about 10% estimated of society stays here. 10%. And we would classify that more as the cluster of personality disorders is really where we're going to focus on that. It's not purely just antisocial personality disorder, right? It's narcissistic personality disorder. It's borderline personality disorder. This is not to demonize people who have those issues, but morality-wise and social-wise and relationship-wise, they are down at the very lowest level of morality. They will do what they must to feel good for the next moment and to survive. Everything else is secondary to that. Making sense?
Mm-hmm.
As we go up the spectrum, there's 80% clustered in various ranges of I will do what makes people think I'm a good person. I will do what is good for society. I will follow the contract. Up at the top is 10%. I will do what is truly right, even if I get punished for doing it, because my innate sense of right and wrong is so powerful, I can't overcome it. Mm-hmm. That is the absolute pinnacle. And we want everybody to reach that, but only 10% of children and adults ever reach that. Mm-hmm. That's terrifying for society, by the way. But there's 80% clustered in the middle. I only want you to aim for the top 10%. Those are the only people I would ever want you to open up to or trust or connect to. Does that make sense?
So,
Mm-hmm.
There is a thing with people with autism, a high level of justice.
Yes.
Are those people in the top 10% autistic?
What I have found, strangely enough, is not every person with autistic features is high level of that, but many of the highest functioning people with autism have that level at the absolute top. There's some of the people that I've found in my life, some of my very dearest, most trusted friends have autistic features. And I tell them, you are one of the most honest people in the world because frankly, it wouldn't be logical for you to be evil. And they laugh and they say, that's true. Like my brain wouldn't even allow me to go there.
Yeah.
Now, when the chips are down and people are stressed and you have every reason to do something wrong and the temptation is there, temptation towards something good and away from something bad, that's when we really figure it out. Mm-hmm. It's not just I have autism, so I'm good. It's my brain protects me and buffers me even when the choice is that hard. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. This is where agency comes in, is when someone is that tempted, they still have choice.
Yeah.
And even if, let's say, your best friend, he is so overwhelmed by his nervous system that he makes a catastrophically stupid decision and does something that hurts you. When his nervous system calms and regulates, if he's top 10%, he will be so haunted by what he did, he will aggressively seek you out to throw himself at your feet and apologize and try to make it right for you because he's haunted by the fact that he caused you pain. That's top 10%. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Now, that's the kind of people we want you to aim for opening up to. Anything shy of that right now, you're not capable of opening up to because it's too risky and your nervous system won't let you. That's what we need is that upper level. Okay. And I call that the 4 levels of trust. I have a system specifically to help you find that. And maybe after the show, I'll teach you the 4 levels of trust. But there's 4 specific levels to clarify those people at the top. You can actually clarify some of the people that are mid and upper, right? Even the top 50% is usually okay for some of these pieces. But for you to really open up and share your feelings, for you to cry in front of someone, when was the last time you cried in front of a human being?
I don't know.
Your mom when you were 2?
Probably not.
Probably not even then?
No.
For you to be able to cry in front of somebody, they have to be confirmed upper level 10%. We need to teach you how to distinguish those people in particular. You and I are going to have a lot more than just a 1-hour conversation about that. But building that will allow you to finally relax your nervous system in their presence. Like you said, you had 4 people that you trusted and 2 of them came through. 2 of them confirmed upper level. The reason I dove in and said, did the other 2 know? And did you give them the options of actually caring for you? And you said, yes, I did. Okay, they confirmed they're not upper level. Okay. They confirmed that they're here at like maybe level 2. I will do what is good for the social contract of keeping peace between us.
They're not bad people.
They're not bad people. That's fine. We don't have
Just
to judge
not
them.
the people that I should rely on.
They're not the people you should actually trust and rely on and allow intimacy to grow.
Okay.
Your life so far as you know, the upper level 10% has not existed. You've only believed in the bottom 90% of humanity. Your brain is now beginning to track upper 10%. Your best friend, would you say he's upper 10%?
I think so.
Okay. Then we're going to have to ascribe him more agency than he's going to hurt me and won't care.
Okay.
If he's upper 10%, we have to treat him like that. Or someday he will say, why am I being treated like an object by the person I love? That will hurt. And he may not walk away from you, but that's a wound and a pain that he may carry continuously.
What if he's not, and I'm not good at identifying?
You're going to have to find that out too. Because eventually the day will come, like it did here, where you needed him and he was there, but maybe he won't be there next time. That's how we get safety for you. We need confirmation. Your system doesn't care about hypotheticals. Your system only cares about confirmation. We have to confirm that he's upper 10%.
Oh. So like you have to
Experience.
like you have to genuinely like check to see if you can rely on people and then risk them not being there for you over and over and over again to identify who is capable and who is not.
Correct. Now, do you remember when you said, I don't challenge people on the times they hurt me until it's this big?
Yes.
When you challenge them when it's this big, you are testing them to see where they fall on that morality scale.
Okay.
It is just as much for your sake as it is for their sake. Hello, person. You have to do it in a way that doesn't walk in and you say, you are the scum of the earth, now grovel at my feet and please me, right? That they won't detect it that way. You walk in and say, I really care about you, but look, this really hurt. And I want us to build a great relationship going forward. I don't know how to get there. Can you talk to me? Why did you do this? What happened? Mm-hmm. Okay, well, for us to come back to a good place, I need to hear that you actually care about me. You're going to have to tell people that you need to know that they care about you. You need confirmation of care. Does that sound weird or needy to you?
It sounds super needy.
That is absolutely mandatory going forward. You cannot have a relationship with a human being unless you are capable of telling them you need confirmation they care about you. Let me ask you this. Do you think it's needy for someone else to need confirmation you care about them, to be able to trust you?
No.
If your best friend wanted confirmation you care about him so that he could trust you, would you look down on him for that?
No.
Would you consider it a burden?
No.
Or unreasonable?
No.
Why would it be unreasonable for you to want it?
Because I've built my identity in a different way, which isn't a healthy way.
I was going to say,
I understand.
give me an answer that's not an excuse. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not healthy, and I know that it needs to change.
A lot of these ideas are inside your brain, and you have your attachment style, right? But you have your attachment algorithm. The algorithm is a core system of beliefs. No one is trustworthy. People will always betray me. I can't open up to them. I'm a burden. Asking for care and comfort is needy. These are core beliefs inside your head, the algorithm. Now, when the algorithm runs, you go on the attachment pattern. Trigger, right? Something happens. Someone hurts you, right? Trigger. And then that leads over into the system reacting to or predicting, right? I predict that because I am frightened right now, something terrible is going to happen. Now, here's the problem, right? And this will horrify you specifically. A person who has autistic features is hyper left shifted, very logical focused, and very intense in their prefrontal cortex. The part of your brain that makes decisions emotionally in relationships is not your prefrontal cortex or the logical left brain. It's a part that you're shifted away from and blind to. For most people, this is your unconscious mind. For autistic people, you have an even deeper veil between you and that. Most people, the veil is this thick. Your veil is this thick. Your awareness of your own unconscious is actually less than the average person. Now, that's at the beginning of your life. You have built intricate systems to try to become intimately more aware of your unconscious.
Yes.
That will happen in some areas. In other areas, you'll be still blind. And you won't know which areas you are blind in. You actually need other people to help you. This conversation you and I are having right now, actually, this is a collaboration between human beings. This is me trying to help you find the areas in your unconscious that you're blind to and you've been blind to for 40 years and pull them out and say, look, Raina, this is killing you right here. Look at this. Look at the tumor. Look at the cancer. Look at the fear. That's why it's so uncomfortable, right? And you're handling it very well, by the way. So thank you for that.
It's because I cried yesterday.
You cried yesterday. You got it out, right? Like,
I'm good.
And you know what? I'm logging Adam as a reason to cry next Friday, right? That's okay.
I might have to do a catch up midweek.
Totally fine. Totally fine. If I get a damn you, Adam text, and I get those sometimes from clients, that's perfectly fine. Yeah. Here's what we need to do. We need to build a system where you have at least 2 to 3 human beings you have confirmed are safe and reliable, that your brain then says, when I tested them, and not in a bad way, manipulative, but I tested them by giving them my heart and my intimacy and my love. They not only did they come through for me, but they came through because of the strength of their character and agency. This is the exact opposite of what your brain currently believes about people, is that they have no character or agency. They are an object. They have facets, they have qualities, but they don't have character.
Traits and characteristics, but not characters.
Correct.
Okay.
They're not a living person. Your brain treats them like an archetype instead of a human.
Yes.
Yes.
Actually, a mixture.
Of
archetypes.
Correct. We need to actually step into that and say that is a human. They have a choice to love me or not love me, and they have chosen to love me. In so doing, you honor the love they have for you. And that's the saddest part, is the people who have loved you in your life, by doing this, you have dishonored their love for you and shut them out. The saddest part about not being able to receive love, yes, is for you, it's sad that you haven't received love, but it's also the people who have tried to give you love that it's been rejected without you knowing it. And you won't know who those people are until you really probably sit and think about it for the next week. That is one piece of homework I'm going to give you, is sit down and think about the people that have confused you, not the people who have hurt you. You've probably got them pegged pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
But the people who've confused you, you didn't know what they were trying to achieve, and then it ended. They walked away, right?
Yes.
You don't know why they stepped away. You don't know why they ghosted you. You don't know why they just sort of were really close and connected, and then suddenly it just drifted, the question marks. For people with autistic features, actually, those are the people that cared about you and wanted to connect. But what they were doing was sending signals. It's like a ship, right? Sending a signal, and you didn't signal back. So they assumed you were not a friendly vessel, and they sailed on. They assumed you weren't interested in connecting. In fact, they assumed that if they got closer, you might attack. So they showed up, they signaled, you sent nothing back, they sailed away. Those were some of the best people.
I've had people tell me that I'm cold.
Yeah.
And that I'm disconnected.
Yeah, you're going to come across, unfortunately, quite disorganized, especially. Autistic, yes, but quite disorganized even, and both definitely. You're going to come across as cold, disinterested, aloof, haughty, right? You're going to come across those ways even though you're not. That's the opposite of you, in fact.
Yeah.
That's the presentation you bring on the outside. We need to show you how to actually test in small ways if people love you or not. Because your brain right now doesn't believe they ever will, so it hasn't even bothered testing. Why test something that's impossible?
Yeah.
So a couple things I need you to do. One, sit down and make a list of the people that have confused you in your life. Just make a list of them, because I want you to see where the gaps have been. See that there's been people that have rolled through that are contrary to your system of belief. Right now you say, everyone is red. And your system says, well, wait, there's like 57 green people. Yeah, but I don't talk about them.
It would take a while for me to think of that.
That's totally fine. Sit down and just make a list. You have plenty of time. Right? Next time we talk, we'll talk about it at some point. Number one. Number two, I want you to have a conversation with your best friend. Mm-hmm. Really? And let him know that this is where you're at. And let him know that you don't know how to actually receive his love. And I want you to ask him, where am I blocking the love you've been trying to give me? I want you to actually ask him that. Where am I blocking the love you're trying to give me? I bet he will have an answer. Or 5, right? I also want you to ask your son this question. And here's why. A lot of times moms who have quiet disorganized attachment and or moms who have ADHD, autistic features, both do fantastic until their child is about 25. And after 25, that person becomes such a complete mystery to her as they grow and differentiate that she still loves him. But a couple things begin happening. One, that child differentiates themselves so strongly that you don't know what they want, and now you don't know how to ask them anymore. Okay. So you live in a cage, and he lives kind of like, happily playing around the cage so you can reach him. But as he begins to drift away from that cage, you can't reach him through the bars anymore.
Okay.
We need to get you out of your cage so you can go with him.
Okay.
Otherwise, your brain will say, he doesn't want me. I'm a burden. I shouldn't ask. And then he's going to say, mom doesn't care about me. I'm just going to go.
Okay, I don't want that.
I don't want that either. Right. So we need to, right now, express interest, express confusion, ask where you are blocking his love for you, and then create a relationship. Just tell him, I want us to have a relationship where if I am weird and confusing, you just ask me. Create that. You might think you already have that. Don't assume.
Okay.
Inform him explicitly. This is what I need from you going forward because I won't know.
Okay.
Transition that over to him. He's the only man you trust because you made him. Transition that power over to him as an adult. This is not parentifying him. You're not making him the parent. Mm-hmm. You're making him a co-human being. This is the beginning of your ability to collaborate with others. I am blind here, and I need you to see for me. And if you see for me and tell me, I will do. Parentifying would be do for me.
Okay.
See the difference?
Yes.
I want you to go to your best friend and say the same thing. I cannot see. I need you to see for me, and I will respond. I will do. Help me see what I'm missing. This way you will confirm you have two men in your life who love and adore you. Now, you said you have two people that cared about you when life turned to darkness. You had two people that responded.
Yes.
The other person. So you have your son, you have your best friend. The third person.
Another one of my friends. She's
excellent.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I want you to go to her and ask the same question. Where am I blocking your love for me? Where am I refusing to receive it? Where are you feeling blocked in our relationship? Where do I not receive you? Where do I misunderstand you?
Okay.
Ask her that. The reason for this is, number one, I want you to open a dialogue with her that essentially you are giving her permission to speak to you about you. You probably already have some of that, but we need to create agency. We need to create a system in your brain where you say, she is a good person because she chooses to be, not she is a good person because she hasn't had temptation yet.
Okay.
See the difference?
Yeah, I think I do that.
The most kindest, empathetic, compassionate human beings on the planet are often quiet, disorganized. And they often have autistic features. And they often do this. This is going to be the step beyond being a good person into you being a great person. It's also going to give you acceptance. Because if they have agency to choose not to love you and the agency to choose to love you, then their love actually means something and you can be safe. Because right now you're not safe because nobody's choosing to love you. They're just not betraying you right now. And you can begin immersing in a group, in a tribe. Your oxytocin levels are going to go way up. As you have these frightening conversations, your vasopressin is going to go up. You're going to shift out of a sympathetic nervous system, chronic stress, right, away from your broken immune system into a healthier immune system, into parasympathetic rest and digest mode. You're actually going to flood with a lot more serotonin. You're going to flood with dopamine, oxytocin, vasopressin, GABA. It'll suppress all of those negative feelings in a good way, not the bad suppression, in a good way. It'll make all of those things you experience easier. It'll actually reduce your chronic pain, probably quite a lot. You probably have very low oxytocin. As your oxytocin goes up, your chronic pain usually will diminish by quite a bit, usually about 20 to 30%. After about a month of having these conversations with people, about 20 to 30% chronic pain reduction is what I see. Usually people come off pain meds at that point, or at least reduce their pain meds significantly. Mm-hmm. Does that sound like worthwhile?
It sounds like a fairy tale.
I know.
But not in a bad way. Like, I've tried so many different things to help balance out my medical problems, and like nothing ever really works.
Right. Are they internal, medical, self, me?
I've tried a lot of stuff.
Okay. Have you tried relational fixes yet?
No.
You are a relational being. If your relationships are sick, your body will be sick. That's just the way we work, unfortunately. I'm not saying this is going to cure everything and tomorrow you're going to be running and skipping. That's not the point. But again, imagine even a 30% reduction in symptoms. Imagine what I typically see as 70% reduction in symptoms. Imagine not only less severe, but less frequent. Imagine a slowdown of degeneration and hurt. Imagine an additional 15, 20 years of life expectancy with higher quality the entire time. I want you to have that image in your head because when you're going to have these conversations, your nervous system will spike and say, don't do it. Adam was wrong. Adam's crazy. You know, it's not that important. It probably won't work. They probably know anyway. My son probably knows that stuff anyway. I shouldn't ask that. I shouldn't bother him. He already knows I shouldn't bother. I shouldn't bother him. Your brain will invent a lot of reasons to dissociate and run away. Don't listen to it.
I think the only way to get me to actually face my fears is my kids.
Well, then I want you to imagine your son at 35 saying, Mom never really cared about me. She lost interest when I turned 18 and she's been cold and distant ever since. Yeah. Right.
I'll fix it.
Okay, good. Because I don't want to have this conversation with your daughter 20 years from now.
Yeah.
Right?
We're not going to do that.
Right. That's the outcome we need to avoid.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you have the power to avoid. Not only that, you have the power to give her a life that is the opposite of this. Imagine a life where her pain is suppressed and she's completely happy and she's thriving. She's smiling. She
could have healthy relationships with people.
Not only healthy relationships, right? But she has an incredible husband who just adores her and worships the ground she walks on and takes care of her. And she can choose to stay home with 6 fat babies, or she can run a business, or she could do anything she wants, but she's excited, where life is pleasure focused instead of pain focused. That's what she deserves.
Yeah.
And that's what you deserve.
Yeah.
And you can build that. And I need you to have that image in your head when you're thinking about how hard it's going to be to have this conversation, and what if it goes wrong, and what if I bother them, and what if they laugh at me, and what if they reject me, what if it's weird, what if it hurts, what if I'm weird, what if they react the way this person did 30 years ago. Your brain will trick you. Don't listen to it. Okay? You're either going to trust those people or you won't. Make sense? Mm-hmm. This is where everything changes for you. Have the conversations, make the list, and then let's talk.
Okay.
because those experiences will open the door to everything else. Any other homework I can give you right now would be meaningless because your brain won't do it. You'll write it down. You go, yeah, Adam, that's great. That's a great idea, Adam. That's great. I should do that. 100%. Adam, that's so smart. I hear this all the time. That's so smart. I'm going to write that down. Yep. Okay. I'll do that, Adam. 6 months later, I get an email. Adam, I didn't do that. And things are worse. And what do I do? I get those all the time. Your brain needs to believe it's even possible to be loved. So we have to take small incremental steps. Today we had some aha moments. You're going to move forward and say, okay, I shouldn't treat people like objects. But your brain's going to try to default when you get stressed. It's going to default back to treating them like objects and navigating around them, unless you have collaborative discussions with them and experience that. And the more collaborative discussions you have, the research shows it's about 40 to 60 within 90 days, you overwrite those neural pathways. Now, usually it's about 58 to 63 days to remap them, but it's about 40 experiences total across all of your relationships, big and small. Okay. So the more collaborative discussions you can have over the next 90 days about how you see people, about what you believe, about their morals, their ethics, what they would do. Give your best friend a hypothetical, right? If you did something that really, truly hurt me and I came to you and fumbled it badly and I made you feel even worse by having a conversation, what would you do? Would you be bothered enough to fix it, or would you just give me the middle finger and walk away? You need to understand the people as people. You understand them as a system. Now understand them as the individual. You see the forest. Let's see the trees.
Oh, I have charts and graphs on the forest.
You have charts and graphs. It's a beautiful forest. It's this
Yeah.
big. But there are individual trees in that forest. There are individual humans in that collective. Mm-hmm. See the human.
It's worth taking a look at.
If you want your children to do well, yes. This is the only way you can move forward for them. Otherwise, they will face the same pain. And I will be in this seat with your children. Keep that image in your head.
That will stay in my head.
Very good. Any last questions for me before I close this out for the day?
No, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Thank you for being brave enough to do this. It's hard.
Mm-hmm. It's been fun.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. I don't get to hear that very often. The thank you, yes, but this pain was fun. Thank you for the suffering. That's a tougher one.
Well, it's a pleasure to be able to experience reality.
I'm glad. And if it was that bad, you just dissociated halfway through. I gotcha. You can cry. I'll be on your list for next week. Not a problem. Everybody out there, I would love to hear from you in the comment section. Say go Raina, right? She came and this was awful and this was a painful experience. And I understand that. I was harder on her than I am on most of my clients. But this is probably many of you. Many of you out there are suffering with autoimmune disorders, with stress, with bottling things up, with relationships you don't know what to do. Most of you are good people who think that swallowing your pain is the right answer and that by infantilizing other people, you're forgiving them. This is not me saying you're a bad person. This is me saying it's time to let other people be people too and not objects. Thank you for watching today. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, support the channel, and come back for the next episode.